UCLA has yet another date in Las Vegas as it reaches the Sweet 16 for a third consecutive year. But speaking of UCLA, the Bruins were not the school that the Big Ten wanted along with USC. And the Rams lose another free agent to Tampa Bay. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is March 19th, 2023. It is Sunday, the Lord's Day. Take a moment, thank God for the blessings you have in your life. I've had another blessing. We added another new subscriber to the Angelino familia. I appreciate every last one of you for getting in on the ground floor. And if you like the content we put out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. There's always good stuff to talk about in LA. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. UCLA has advanced to the Sweet 16 with a 68-63 victory over Northwestern. But it might have come at a cost. Jaime Jaquez Jr. scores 24 to lead the Bruins. The Bruins will face the winner of today's Gonzaga-TCU game. That would be Thursday out in Vegas. But guard David Singleton injured his ankle late in the game. The player did say that he knew he did not break the ankle. He didn't feel a pop. He could put a little weight on it. And there is hope he could play again next weekend. It is the third consecutive year UCLA has reached the Sweet 16. But again, Bruins players, one after the other, getting injured at the wrong time. Jalen Clark out for the year. Bona missed a couple of games. And now possibly Singleton. Orlando snapped the Clippers' four-game winning streak, 113-108. The Clippers sat Kawhi Leonard, and it cost them yet again. We'll talk about that in a few more minutes in a little more depth. LAFC and Seattle, they got together for a pleasant little jog around the city. Forgot to score, though. Scoreless match. LA Galaxy also drew with Vancouver 1-1. There is a rapid recap of that match on the LA Galaxy playlist, but the big story was the fact that it was the smallest home opener since 2013. There was a fan protest of about 300 people outside of the stadium demanding the ouster of team president Chris Klein. And that boycott is allegedly going to continue until he's out. Meanwhile, today, Orlando is playing at the Lakers at 6:30. LA is on a two-game losing streak. The Clippers are back at it. They're up in Portland at 6. Now, according to the president of the University of Arizona, the Big Ten Conference did not want UCLA to join USC in 2024. The conference wanted Oregon. This is according to Robert Roberts talking to CBS, or I should say Robert Robbins talking to CBS. Quote, USC started this whole thing. I think UCLA was a reluctant follower in this whole thing. When I heard it at first, the deal was going to be USC Oregon. That makes sense. Their TV market, meaning Oregon, is not that big, but they play in the different colored uniforms and they win. That's where I think it would have started this thing off, unquote. So what changed the deal, do you ask? It's actually relatively simple. There is an opinion this time by Robbins. Quote, I think Fox wanted to consolidate LA and not let anybody else in. I think it's brilliant. Well played, unquote. Now, you might disagree with Robbins' assessment, particularly on the latter, saying that UCLA is dominant in a lot of college sports. Take March Madness, take college basketball, John Wooden, the legacy. To which TV execs would probably reply, football is the moneymaker. And let's be real. We all saw what the Rose Bowl looked like last year. So there's that. Tampa Bay is plucking marginal Rams players off the roster one at a time. They've already taken Baker Mayfield, and then they come back Saturday, and they signed defensive lineman Greg Gaines yesterday to a one-year contract. And to be honest, Gaines is okay. He's a legit starter. But the real reason that they needed him was because the Bucs' defensive line is old, super old. Let's retire in Florida old. Coaches were X's and O'ing on the players' liver spots old. Gaines is only 26. They needed youth there. But there is a bright side in the sense that we already discussed that the Rams are probably going to stink on defense this year anyway. And so they need as many draft picks as they can get. The Rams might get a compensatory draft pick for Gaines. It's part of the remodel plan that we've heard of so much from GM Les Snead. The Rams, for example, will have 11 draft picks in the upcoming NFL draft when normally a team would have about 7. They could add more compensatory picks for 2024 because they've lost Gaines, they've lost Baker Mayfield, they've lost safety Nick Scott. Meanwhile, we want to be accurate here at Faithful Angelenos. A couple of weeks ago, we thought Odell Beckham Jr. was out of his omelet flippin' mind because there was a story claiming he wanted $20 million a year. He tweeted he does not want $20 million a year. No, he tweets that he wants $4 million. To which the New York Giants replied, "Are you out of your omelet flippin' mind? No deal." So, still a free agent. And by the way, you might be saying to yourself, the Rams could be in that market, but they only have about $8 to $10 million in cap space right now. I don't think they're going to blow half of it on Odell Beckham Jr. I don't. Not unless, of course, they get rid of Allen Robinson or something like that. Cody Bellinger homered against the Dodgers in a spring training game Friday, to which I say, so what? For real, so what? It's a preseason game. What does that really mean? The Cubs have played 20 preseason games, right? How would that average out over a 162 game regular season? Exactly. Now, to be clear, everybody liked Cody Bellinger. I like Cody Bellinger. The ladies loved them some Cody Bellinger. But now he's in Chicago. And he's in Chicago for a reason. He was dragging the team down for the last couple of years. Dave Roberts still laments that the former MVP who made all the girlies swoon could have stayed. Quote, "I wish we could have done more to support him and get more consistency from him. But our hope is that the change of scenery will kind of tap into something that's already in there that we all know. I'll always root for Cody," unquote. And look, that's a nice thing to say. Nobody hates Cody Bellinger. He lost his swing. I just don't think he has it back yet. Robert says he is much more comfortable, by the way, with letting Miguel Vargas take over second base, quote, "Every day, each week, there's been marked improvement," unquote. But Jason Hayward's progress appears to be a little sketchy. Hayward is in the running to possibly replace Cody Bellinger out in center field. He rebuilt his swing over the offseason. Lower hands, holding the bat a little bit more flatter. Hayward actually has more home runs than Bellinger. He had 2 in the first week of spring training, but he has cooled off significantly since that first week. Having said that, Roberts called it a, quote, "safe bet," unquote, that Hayward will make the team out of spring training. LeBron James is apparently working out 3 times a day in a frantic attempt to return to the team. He has described the workouts as intense. Make of that what you will, because as far as I'm concerned, there's no timetable yet for James's return, which makes my heart rate intense. I have no idea when he's coming back. Guard Austin Reeves admitted that there is a somber mood in the Lakers locker room, particularly during this 2-game losing skid. The team is now 3 games under 500. They have surrendered the last spot in the play-in round with 11 games to go in the regular season. Quote, "The mood is obviously down. We need them all from here on out, but we're a group of competitors. So obviously I'd be worried if the mood wasn't like that. Just because if you don't care about losing games that are really meaningful, what's the point of playing?" So I thought the mood was exactly what it should have been. The Clippers have not won a basketball game without Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Howard? It's a little early, guys. The Clippers haven't won a basketball game without Kawhi Leonard since December 26th. That's almost 3 full months. Every load management excuse equals an automatic L. Didn't play yesterday against Orlando. The 29-42 Orlando Magic. And it's another loss. Look at the Western Conference standings. The Clippers are currently at number 5. You mean to tell me that you're going to sacrifice home court advantage in 1, possibly 2 rounds for load management? And the funny thing about load management is everybody else, because they want to protect Kawhi Leonard's feelings, they blame themselves. Russell Westbrook. Did Russell Westbrook take a whole lot of accountability during his time with Houston, during his time with the Lakers? But after the game of yesterday against Orlando, quote, "This one's on me," unquote. Now, don't get me wrong, Westbrook didn't play well. He had 6 turnovers. Markelle Fultz dropped 26 points on him. But it doesn't change the fact that you could have Westbrook at the top of his game. You could have Paul George. It doesn't matter. Load management for Kawhi Leonard has been and will continue to be a problem for the Clippers during the regular season. Now, for the record, the next back-to-back for the Clips comes March 31st to April 1st. Sometimes the obvious question is still the best one to ask. Helene Elliott of the LA Times, very good writer, caught up with Eunice Corpusalo and asked about being the replacement for Jonathan Quick. Quote, "He's a living legend here," Corpusalo said. "So no one can replace that guy. No one," unquote. By the way, the idiot announcers up in Vegas have taken to calling him Johnny Quick. Johnny Quick. It's Jonathan. It's Jonathan. This is the National Hockey League, not names chosen out of a hat for a Pokemon ripoff show. I don't need to hear about the adventures of Johnny Quick. It's Jonathan. The Vegas Golden Knights, I swear to God, they always got to make everything sound jazzier than it really is. Hockey is not jazzy. Hockey is chippy, it's bloody. The only Johnny I know in the NHL is Gaudreau. It's Jonathan. Let it go. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Let me know what you think about UCLA advancing to the Sweet 16. But that still wouldn't be good enough for the Big Ten Conference. And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports each and every day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Corte El Queso production. Take care.